Bye.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, this is the first call I made on this side, so
I know.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I have them in my calendar. That's the trick. Like my calendar start pinging at 4:00 in the morning, saying, "Why are you pinging?"
I think, what are we on? I think we have them the third Friday of every month.
Yes.
At this time, so you can shove it in your diary, and
it's there. It's there, and if it's not on my phone pinging, I'm going to miss it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Linda, and I don't think Helen's been on these calls before either.
No, it's the first one I could make.
Yeah, it's the first one. But basically, it's just informal, and it's just your opportunity. Obviously, you've got all the resources and stuff in the club to use, but it's just your opportunity to just ask questions and just brainstorm. And if you're stuck, or if you if you have any issues that you want to discuss, and it's just that, and it's just for us to get together and meet each other and network and say hi.
Hi.
That's it, she's done that.
Can I share a networking event I'm running?
Kelly, are you sure you're not drinking a glass of wine this morning?
I wish I was. It's just honest, promise.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody commented a couple weeks ago because I was drinking soda water in a wine glass, and somebody thought that I was actually drinking something and exciting. And it was, no, it's just fizzy water. It's nothing exciting.
What do you all do?
Yeah, shall we have an introduction for everybody?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, go around the room and we'll have an introduction. So, let's have a look. Who have we got? Right, we have got, let's go through. Ruth, you go first. You can introduce. I think we all know each other apart from Helen. We'll just do it.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ruth Heyerdahl, and I have a little business called My Health and Wellness Corner. And I have a Facebook group called Essential Truths About Oils, where I teach, where I teach people how to use essential oils safely and to make their own personal care products to cut down on their toxic load, because every day we're constantly bombarding our body with like harmful chemicals, and that affect our body, our mind, and our outlook. So that's what I do. And I do not sell essential oils. I just teach people how to use them. And that's, to me, that's a real sticky point. Like, just, so that's what I do. And that's me.
But
and I'm too keen and I'm ready to go. Sorry, Karen.
So if I was to come to you because I have a thing, and you tell me how to solve that, would you give me an example, for example, Amazon shopping list, so I know then when I leave you, I know I can get the oils I need to help me after you've recommended?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I find it difficult because I know a great company in the States, but the customs fees are just horrible, right? Yeah. Like, I think what did I do? My very first order, I think I put in, this was several years ago, I put in over $1,000. And when the guy came to the door, I owed $2,300. Well, with taxes and the exchange rate. And I think that it was almost twice like the Canadian and the American money. So, and then the customs, of course, was horrible. So I found a company that will do for now here in Canada, and I found one in the UK that seems to be comparable. I just have to do a little more searching, but I tell you how to find what to look for in a company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else have we got? Nicola? She's writing. I can see her writing.
Hi, Nicola. You have your mic off. We can't hear you.
Hang on. See if I can unmute on my end. There you go.
Hear me now.
Woo!
I've got a new pen.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's made my week. You know what?
My day.
I'm gonna nick it.
Pen as well. Look.
Let me see.
Oh, no.
Look, let them kiss. Give them
Do you want
kisses.
fuzzy pins too, Karen?
Nobody told us the dress code. We need to know the next one.
This is mine.
We all need to have fluffy pens next time.
I've got a magic pencil. Magic pencil.
God makes him magic, Karen.
What I write, my dreams, and my business goals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
Like it. Nicola, do you want an introduction to everybody what you do? We'll tell Helen what you do.
I hate these things. I'm the crazy lady who helps other crazy people. That's kind of a nutshell, isn't it?
You've got to
We're all
elaborate on
crazy in
that.
our own way.
We're all crazy.
Yeah, we're all nuts.
Yeah, but I get it like officially. I get like happy ladies and stuff like that. And I think I could technically kill somebody and get away with like I might try it and just see what happens.
We didn't hear that. La 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 la.
It's recording, you know, so if it happens, it's premeditated murder.
Yeah. Sugar.
Right, you have
Nice.
to be a professional. What is it, Nicola? What is your business?
I'm a mental health mentor and a personal trainer.
There you go, that's better.
Sun's out, guns out.
Thank you. And welcome. Who came on? Debbie. Welcome, Debbie. So Karen, you already know Helen anyway, don't you? When you were at the event together. At Rachel's event.
No, I don't know, Debbie. Don't think so. Doesn't ring a bell.
Karen? Maybe it's me making it up dreaming. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Me. Sorry, my internet's bad. I'm just getting bits.
Who have we got? Yeah. Karen.
Okay, I'd mute this. So listen, it's coming through a bit static here. So, I'm Karen, and my business is Quest for Success, and I do my absolute best to work with people who have been bullied in the boardroom. What I'm currently doing now, my group, is helping people who have not been bullied, but people who want to be more courageous about what they do. So, helping people with the courage to speak up for themselves, stand up for themselves, show up for themselves, and be themselves in any situation, whether that's difficult with difficult people or just because they've got a dream they want to achieve.
Brilliant.
Yay. See, do you know what? Working with you now on Boost Your Biz, you've just got that like super clear. It's good.
I've struggled for years.
I like it. Ruth does the same. I was like, oh, I'm impressed. There you go.
Thank you.
Linda, your turn. I'm going to unmute her. There you go.
Okay, I got it. I'm Linda Hampton. I live here in the States, and my business is called Productive Biz Women Rock. And basically what I do is I help women who are feeling stuck because of so many things. We get stuck on things that we feel like we can't do, and so we don't move forward. It's not really about moving forward and about procrastination. So I help women to get over those humps. It's a lot of techniques, but one of the things that I utilize to really help, which is emotional freedom technique, which I really believe in, because I think that is a way to help people that, we all know what you need to do, but it's the process of doing it. And we get stuck, and I think it's all the stuff we had in our past, all the stuff from the childhood that keeps us from moving forward. So that's what I do.
Cool. Really good.
Thanks.
Right, who else have we got? And now we've got Debbie.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, sorry, my internet's not very good today and it's a really bad signal. So I'm Debbie. I live in Scotland with my 2 kids and my 3 dogs, and I'm setting up a business, divorce coaching. I came out of my ex-husband had an affair 6 years ago. We were living in the Middle East, and the emotional torture that I went through the first year was incredible. So I decided I did it all holistically, using meditation, yoga, EFT, which I went and trained in. And I decided I had to set up a business to help women through the emotional side of it without having to go down the medication route. So that's my business. I'm getting set up. I haven't had any clients yet because I've been procrastinating a lot because of confidence and stuff. But I'm getting there slowly. So
Good.
Fabulous.
And Helen, do you want to tell everybody what you do?
Yep. I'm an artist, I'm a jewellery designer, and I teach jewellery making as well, silver jewellery. So I work with lots of precious metals, silver in the main. So tomorrow I've got some classes making rings with little gemstones on and just general beady classes, but I do all sorts of things from necklaces, earrings, all sorts of things. But I also sell my jewellery as well. So that's what I do.
Real. And they're really pretty because I've seen them.
Yeah.
I always wanted to make jewellery.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're saying about the help, about meditation and different things to help, whether it be divorce or emotional issues. But there's a lot of people that use something like a hobby or a craft or something like that as a therapy.
Yeah.
And I do have people that come and just a bit of them time, me time, and they'll come along and do something, and it's just that little bit of time out for themselves. So I get quite a bit of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? That's when my mother-in-law, she started craft classes and card making when my father-in-law passed away. And she's done it now for years and she's amazing at it. And that's how she got through it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is just, just another tool in your kit bag type of thing, that because you're so busy concentrating on something that it takes that internal chatter away, at least blocks it off for a little bit of time. Yeah. That's how I started with it.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. And you're really busy, aren't you, in your classes and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So there you go. Introductions out of the way.
Thank you.
Fine. So yeah, I mean, really, the aim of these calls is just for me to be able to support you away from the Facebook group. So obviously, if there's things coming up that you're stuck with or you have issues with, then we can use these calls to kind of talk through those. So it might be that you're stuck on technology, it might be that you're stuck kind of just getting seen and visibility, or anything that you feel that is blocking you in your business. That's what we use these calls for. So I mean, if anybody wants to start off by letting us know what you're doing or what you're getting stuck at, or if you need help with anything. Karen's putting her hand up.
Right, first of all, thank you. And Kelly, just for completeness, do you want to do your introduction? I know we all know you, but just so that we're just like, oh, that's how a leader does the introduction, so we can all get aspired.
You don't want me to do an introduction, I'm crap at them.
Don't worry about it then. Don't pressure, I was just asking.
Thanks, Karen. Okay, I will. So you all know me. So I'm Kelly and I'm the Tech Angel, and I am here to kind of mentor you lovely ladies, female entrepreneurs, to build amazing businesses. And I just do that through sharing my own journey and sharing my own knowledge of what has worked well with me, and then hopefully you can take that away and implement it and have the same success in your business.
Thank you. Brilliant. I love it. I learn something each time everyone does their own introduction. So I've just asked if I could talk just now because it's a natural link. One of the things that I'm doing for visibility and boosting my business is networking. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever had a corporate job, but I'm guessing we pretty much all have in some way, shape or form. And some of that includes networking, and then there's traditional networking. And I've loved that. And I've hosted those. So I've been on both sides of it. And I know it's a lot of work. But right now, I think that would help with boosting my business and my visibility. But I can't be asked going. It's like by the time you go, and then you've got, and then you have all of that nonsense, and then you're networking, and then you've got to travel back. It can be half a day or so. So what I have experienced previously, which ran successfully, was a few years ago, and it was really older technology before Zoom. I could dig out my notes of all like the platforms that I had to look at, but we also run successfully online business networking. But now we've got all of this super technology. I've re-released it again. So I've got the next 6 dates if you want to know. So if you would like to do some online business networking, join us on Zoom. Then it's exactly like this. We say welcome. You'd copy and paste your contact details into the chat box instead of sharing your business cards. You'll do your 60 seconds introduction like you would. And then somebody takes the floor to say, this is how my business helps people. And so you could be invited to that, or I've got 2 lovely speakers lined up for the first 2, and myself if anything happens. But it's not about me. I don't necessarily want to run it. If somebody else wants to run it, I'll be delighted. But I want to use this as a way of boosting my business. And then after that, if somebody has something that we can all help on, it's like we can all contribute to the conversation. So I've launched, this is for me to invite you. If you would like to join, the next one is on the 25th, and it's I don't know if it's GMT or UTC, Universal Central Time, and because our clocks went forward anyway, so it will be 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning here in the UK. And the reason for that is if you get the kids settled and maybe watch a TV, you can have your meeting and then still do the school run. The week after it'll be lunchtime. The week after it'll be like tea between after work and tea time, as it were, or after homework when the kids are playing out in tea time, to try and fit in with people who don't have those 9-to-5 jobs, just to see what works. So I asked Kelly's permission if I could tell you that's how I'm helping boost my business. And I'll put the link in the group. So if you'd like to join us, that would be great. And if you want to run a mile and you couldn't think of anything worse, that's great too. At least I've let you know.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Ruth.
No, it sounds good. Karen is spooky because I was going to, obviously after being in York yesterday, I was going to do a Facebook Live about the importance of networking in your business. So whether that's kind of online or even attending actual face-to-face networking events, that's what I was trying to say. So it's kind of topical for me because I just think people don't do it enough. They just sit behind their screens in their comfort zone and never really do any speaking or face-to-face with real life people. And I think that has a massive knock-on, especially for me. I had a massive knock-on effect for my confidence, because then you're out of practice of speaking with people, because you just get into this practice of sitting behind your computer and hiding behind your computer, and over time that's really damaging. And it was for me, and it does nothing for your business or your self-esteem. So yeah, well, I'm there.
Yeah, I've had done three business networking things this week, and one last week, which is probably the first this year, because it's been cold and miserable, and it was winter and it was dark, and it was any excuse. But it's like it's come spring, and I'm prepared to go out and talk to people. So I have actually introduced myself. I've just come out of hibernation, and that's what I feel.
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. But it's quite nice getting out there again.
One of the things I like to do is I've been thinking about going out and doing presentations on, to small local groups, because I think there are some groups that need to have speakers. I've been kind of working on it, but I haven't been concentrating on it because I'm, at least the presentation part, what do I want to really say? But I think it's important to be out there face to face. There are some advantages, I think, of that, doing that. I think that you're right, we hide behind the computer and we don't get out there and speak to people, and I think it can be a good way to kind of sell your services. Plus, it gives you experience talking in front of groups, which means when you get to talk, get the opportunity to maybe speak at something even online. Maybe someone invites you, you become more proficient of a speaker, kind of fine tune what you have to say. So I think it's a really good idea. And even one of the things I thought about is even doing something like teaching EFT at the local library, because we can have opportunities at the library, and they invite everybody in the community. So there's a way the library, they have online presence, and I guess I'm assuming now most people don't get anything in the mail, but there are people that stay. I'm on the library's email list. So I think we miss opportunities when we don't. Don't take those opportunities to do face-to-face. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And even, Zoom is, it's really another opportunity because, in the past we didn't even have, you could hear people, but you couldn't see them.
So. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it just, I think it's something that we get complacent and we get, I've got an online business, so I can just not make the effort with people anymore, and we just forget that there are actually real life people out there, and we become kind of like hermits, really, where we just, like, for me, I used to just drop the kids off at school and come and sit in my office all day until I have to pick them up again, and that was it. That was my day. And I thought, no, I'm not having that anymore. So like, I help run a local networking group in the city, but again, that is very like male orientated. So it's all largely men in suits. So it's kind of like, I think it's just it's changing that perception of networking as well, because I think it puts people off.
Yeah. Interestingly, all my networking this week also, and last week, so that's 4 lots of networking, all women groups. And I prefer them. I don't like these men in suits.
Hi everyone. Sorry.
Hi Sis. I was going to say hi when everyone stopped talking.
I went to one yesterday actually, and in London it was a coffee morning. It didn't have any structure. It was fine. But yeah, I do notice that, I don't know, that this might sound like a negative, but like the guys that were there seem to think that they know everything and all the answers. And a common theme that I noticed actually amongst the men is doing things without integrity, or to me didn't have integrity. So they're talking about upscaling by getting someone to write your book and basically not giving a shit, excuse my language, what your content is, just knocking them out, and I was just like, oh, there's something so gross about all these things, like it just is all about just quantity, not quality, and not really caring what you put out in the world. And to me, that really didn't sit right at all. I don't know how other women feel about that, but I would imagine it's more of a female thing in general.
Yeah. Do you know what? I find that men they don't listen. When you go to networking, they're just there for themselves, and they're like, here's my business card, and they just talk about them. But that's good for me because I hate networking anyway. So I'm happy if somebody just talks at me the whole time, so then I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, but that's not networking because you've not put your business forward. So what was the point in going if you're just getting a load of guff from somebody else?
I mean, to be honest, that is the only networking I do, and that's because I help run it. I'm on the committee. But I decided to do it so I could get out and see people, because I was like, I'm not interested in growing my business because, like, I don't, like, not locally anyway, so I don't work with local people, especially in the city.
How about
this interaction with people? And we've got a local, sorry to interrupt there, we've got a local group that meet every now and again, but they're all like yoga teachers and stuff. and I just kind of felt like I didn't fit in. And then it kind of dropped off a little bit, but I do really miss one-to-one interaction with other women and you know, getting together with them. So it might be something I need to think about starting myself.
Where are you based, Debbie?
Just outside Aberdeen.
Right. Well, I know some people who've got groups in, and especially other people might need some anyway. Perth area, Dundee. There's a women's business group in Dundee as well, and some others. So
yeah, there's one in Aberdeen, but I think it's more corporate. I'd like to find one that was kind of more like, you know, people working online and from home, and I'm sure there probably is one out there. I just need to go and search.
Well, if you need one working from home or online, they don't need to be geographically based. But if you want to get out, I do know some more in the Dundee and Perth area as opposed to Aberdeen. But yeah, there's certainly ones on the East Coast, I know.
Yeah,
if you go to meetup.com, Debbie, that's where I found the ones in London.
Okay.
And then you can be a bit more specific because it will say what it is. It might say entrepreneurial, you know, online meetups, or it might just be a random coffee thing. And then you might find people within that group where you start your own and say, hey guys, would you like to meet, you know, every week or something? Can I just ask a question, Linda? You know, when you were talking about the presentations,
Yes.
Because I've been thinking, I know that I've spoken to Kelly, I've kind of been out the loop at the moment. I've been quite unwell this year and I'm really just having to rest a lot. I'm not really gung-ho on work at the moment, but and it's probably a good time to just write my book instead. But I definitely am thinking of public speaking. That's definitely, if I'm gonna get told off for talking all the time, I might as well bloody get paid for it. So
well, I'm not even. I think you can. There are two different types of speaking. One is being paid, and they're a little tougher to get. But I'm really talking more about at least initially starting free speaking, because there are a lot of groups that they want their group members to have some information, and so they're looking for speakers. So my goal is to really try to find places that are local that I can do something that would make sense. Like I was thinking about naming my talk. What was my thought? My thought was, do I have to do it now? Because I think, you know, people all look at that. Oh, so cute. But I think that it's definitely a way that people don't often think about. And it's really, then it's a matter of what are you going to do? Because that's going to be the trick. It's not just giving the speech. How do I bring them to me? You know, I've got to have something that, you know, either to sell at the presentation, and that's one of the reasons why I had I had talked about doing like some type of journal that I could actually physically sell, but it wouldn't be much money. But I'm really more interested in getting them on a list. So it's just really trying to put that together so that you have people that really want to gather more information, whether it is, and I haven't put it together yet because I've been more focusing on, you know, getting out there on the internet, doing my Instagram and stuff like that while, you know, we're in the booth, because I'm in the Boost Your Biz. So I've been focusing on that, but I definitely am going to be working on but I want my presentation not to be, it's definitely not going to be scripted, but I want a presentation that I can give with slight differences time after time after time, but not scripted, you know, just with general kind of topic areas. Because I think that if I'm going to give something to someone to just talk off the top of my head, it's not an advantage to me and it's not an advantage to them, because how do I replicate that, you know?
Well, I mean, if there's a guy called Kyle Cease, who I totally love. He's a transformational coach, but he used to be quite a famous comedian in the States. And the joke about him is if Eckhart Tolle and Jim Carrey had a baby, they'd make Kyle Cease. Yeah, so he's a cool guy and he's doing very good coaching. And one of the things he says is he never plans what he's going to say, because then he can't be authentic in the moment.
Right.
Because we don't go out on a date and start going like planning what we're going to say.
Right. There is that thought. I mean, there are a lot of people that don't plan. I mean, they really feel as though to be authentic, to be up on the stage, that they are, you know, they're going to talk off the basically whatever they feel, you know, whatever their thoughts are to talk about that particular time of that day. But I'm just not that person. I'm really just not that person.
You can do
so it's not a script. It's like, okay, I'm going to talk about these types of things. It's, you know, scripting is I don't think scripting works, because, you know, you're stiff, you're trying to think about the script. That definitely doesn't work. But having a talk that you have a particular type of topic area, yeah, because you know, if you're the other reason I think that is because, for me, if I'm going to ask other people, can I speak in front of their groups, whether it's local or on the internet, they're going to want to know what I'm going to talk about. You know, not off the top of my head. I'm just going to, you know, I can't, you know, that's one reason. So.
Well, I like the idea of thinking ahead of what you want to get from it, what you want to, you know, because I think that's something that stops me sometimes, thinking, oh, my stuff's not ready, blah, blah, blah. But actually, ultimately, I probably want these people to sign up for my YouTube channel or buy my book ultimately, when that, you know, even if that is something at the end of the year, if you only just get their email, then every time you go out on a talk, you're going to be gathering 5, 10, 20 odd emails. And obviously that's going to add up to hundreds, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so by the time you've got your products ready, I guess once you leave the talk, you can all send them an email saying, it was lovely to meet you. Here are my channels, you know, and then I'll let you know when other stuff is coming along, you know, I guess, you know, but
you just have to think ahead. You just have to think ahead. It's really about plan. It's really about creating some type of plan, whatever that plan is for you, whatever works for you, whatever your plans are. I agree.
Yeah. And I think, Linda, on that, I think it's good to have a topic, so you know, you can tell them what you're potentially going to be speaking about, so you've got to have that clarity. They know what you are talking about.
Right.
But in terms of scripted, then you don't have to. You just go with passion.
Yeah. Right. You don't want to pressure yourself with a script. And I think if you listen to anyone that does sales, quote unquote, talks, when you get online, they tell you you're going to have a free talk about a particular topic. They're leading to a sale. They're leading to something, whether it's a sale, getting you on your list. But those talks there's some type of outline or something that they're going to be going by, so that they can lead you to what they want you to do. If you're really good, some people are just natural speakers. That's not going to be me. So, I mean, I have to look at my strengths and my limitations.
I think do you know what? I think you just have to just get out there. It'll come with practice.
Yes,
and if you've never done it before, because for me, that's something that really terrifies me. But I think it's anything. It's like if you think about Facebook Lives, when you have to do your first one, it's really scary. But after you've done a few, it's fine. And it's just practice.
True.
I have a friend who she is well known throughout North America, and she's starting to get known overseas now. She's celiac, she's gluten-free, and she's a nutritionist. And so she sells her knowledge of nutrition, but she has been speaking for years. Now, okay, I knew her when she first started, and she was still pegging herself as the gluten-free expert at that time. And it was her first couple of talks. And yet she's a natural speaker, and she just gets up there and just, you know, she's talking one-on-one, even though there are thousands of people. And, well, now there are thousands. At that time, I think there were only like 50 to 100. But she still gets physically ill just before she goes on stage. She gets this extreme stage fright. And her stomach turns and everything, and then she goes on stage and she's fine, you know, but you'd never guess it. And those first couple of talks, like, she got on and she never said, "This is my first talk." You know? She just
never
went out there
say
and
that.
owned
Never
it.
ever say say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like she just owned it, and everybody thought that I thought she'd been doing it for years, and then she said, "Oh no, that was my first talk, and it was okay."
But like Linda said, you know, I think it's about starting small and just grabbing any opportunity, you know, and that's probably a really good thing to do would be to brainstorm just any place you could talk, like, you know, whatever's relative to your subject, like a library, blah, 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 like, I don't know, you know, anything that's relative, and finding, like, even in London, they've got like a poetry cafe, you know, anything, just an opportunity, even if you just use that and go and read a poem that you wrote, just to kind of practice standing up, feeling the pain of standing in front of people. You know, for me, I was teaching Pilates for years, and the worst thing is when you walk into a room of people who have a teacher who they have every week and you're not it, and they're like, I don't want you, I want my teacher, and you have to win them over in that first 2 minutes, or you're toast, you know, or you're just
like anything, Suze, it's like people have to get to know you. It's like going online, people have to get to know you. And that's why I think doing it free for the first few times is great, because people will get to know you. They will go and tell other people, hey, you've got to hear this girl, she's really great, you know. And then once you get that going, that momentum going, then you can start charging. Like, people will come to you. Like, people come to my friend all the time, and they've offered to pay her. You know, like they say,
I have
$100 for a keynote. You know,
right. I have a link. I don't have it now, but I'll put it in a group. It's for a and I don't know if it's all over, so I haven't looked. But it's I think it's some kind of speakers bureau. So people all over I know all over the U.S. So I'm assuming that's all over the world at this moment. I just don't know. Looking for speakers, and so you can. They actually put a list of all the places that are looking for speakers, and you know, I've had this for a while, so I've not really paid it too much attention. I've looked at it a few times, but I'll put the link in the group, and if it's useful for anybody, you know, and again, I'm not 100% sure if they're looking for people outside of the U.S., but you know, and maybe there is another one that is a European. I don't know, but I'll put the link in the group, and you can check it out.
Cool. Thank you.
That's awesome. I actually want to speak, which is weird. Most people are like, oh my God, I should do this because it's a sensible thing. I'm like dying to find opportunities to go out, you know, but it's just, my fear is just starting, you know.
Just do it. I just did a Facebook Live in the Tech Angel group before this, saying that. And it's like, we're in the last week of Boost Your Biz next week, and it's about collaborating. And it's a really, really good way of boosting your business and your visibility. But people don't know how to reach out. And I'm like, well, just reach out to people and ask them if you can speak. Because if you know of networking events, or if you know of any events that's coming up that could be potentially good and they have your audience, just reach out to them and ask them if you can collaborate with them. Don't be scared. And the thing is, if they say no, nobody knows about it. Like, you're not gonna like be a laughing stock or made a mockery of, because nobody knows that you've asked them apart from you two.
And I guess you could also follow that up with, okay, do you know anywhere else that might, or, you know, like ask them to send you somewhere, sort of thing. Yeah. And I guess that's also practice of being rejected and like just getting out, like, because it never stops hurting.
No. And the thing is, I think you have to be clever about who you are asking, because if they direct competitors of yours, they're going to say no. But if it's something that it's going to offer value to their audience, then the chances are they're going to say yes, because it's kind of improving what they're already offering. So people will not say no if they know that you can help them, and it's all about them. So making it about them and how you can enhance what they've got.
Someone said to me today, when you word things, it's like you're giving them a present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously by that you're raising your profile, and it's not just speaking, it's anything, and it's raising your profile, it's raising your visibility. You get in front of other people's audiences really super easy. Cool. So yeah, so we're covering that next week anyway, so be good. So how's everybody else doing? We're going to move on from networking. So thanks, Karen. So yeah, just pop the link in the group, and you can pop her in the Tech Angel Club group as well if you want. I think you're on mute still. There.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was writing it down.
You're welcome. Yeah, just pop her in there because I think it'll be really good.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Very welcome. So how's everybody else doing? Are we stuck? Are we happy? Do we need help with anything? Speak up.
The only thing, it's not like necessarily a major hurry, and I'm sure it's sorted itself out, but my website expired recently. It's not a website to do with Creative Rebel. There's no desperate need to worry about it. Obviously, I still have the content that I made through Adobe. It's just the website's domains run out, and I'm not sure that I want to renew it. Like what I love about Kelly's is that it's like one name and everything under it is one name, and it's like, why can't I just have one name? But it's like I have Creative Rebel Club, my vlogging channel was Adventures of Suze, then I had my art stuff, and I think I still own the domain of my name, SusannaWilson.com. I think it's still up there online, but so I'm sure I could still get that back. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else has this issue or everyone else is just clear with one name, but I find like different things have different names, and it's like having an umbrella, and I don't know, for me that creates some kind of confusion. I don't know what you do to work through that confusion, what kind of process.
At the moment I've got quite a few. My business name is Silver and Stone, but I'm quite well aware that I'm wanting to promote myself to galleries, and actually my business name doesn't say who I am. And so I'm looking at how I rebrand my jewellery, not my courses, but my jewellery under my own name, so that it's something like Helen Dry Jewellery at Silver and Stone, or something so that it links it. But because I've been in business for about 6 years, quite a lot of organisations, my customers know my name as Silver and Stone. They know my name personally because they've done business with me. So I'm trying to look at how I balance the two, and I'm moving my website from its current platform just onto a new platform. It'd be pretty much the same, but I'm having problems with it because it's 6 years old. So it's just some things aren't working within WordPress. If I update my WooCommerce, my whole site goes down. But hey, it's just
I know WooCommerce is it's renowned for that.
Yeah,
especially when
it is literally I cannot update that plugin. Otherwise, I've lost my whole site.
Oh God, that's awful.
Yeah, but we're just going to move it to a new WordPress site, start again, but with pretty much the same content. So
yeah,
not that hard.
Suze, I think going back to your question, I think it's two things. It's the old thing of clarity, what you are, who you're for, and I'm going to keep coming back to it. And then I think it's about thinking about what people will search for. So what are you known for? So like mine is the Tech Angel. So people either search for my name or they search for the Tech Angel. So my website is my name, but my whole brand is the Tech Angel. So Facebook group, all of that is the Tech Angel, because that's what people search for. So it's definitely having that clarity of who you are, who you're for, and then you can move on to thinking about, well, what will people be searching for when they're looking for me?
That's a great question. What are you known for? Yeah. Well, I guess with my vlogging, it was the authenticity challenge.
Yeah.
That
But
was
like,
the
what are the problems? So for me, if I don't know, if somebody was searching for me, perhaps they would be looking for help with WordPress or help with technology or growing my business, or it's thinking outside the box what people will be searching for when they go to Google. So what problems are they searching for?
I think that's still my area of clarity, is the fact that I haven't narrowed it down enough to my niche yet. That's still an ongoing thing. So I guess that's going to sort itself out in time, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm going to keep asking those questions every day. That will probably help. Thank you.
Yeah, just keep writing it down.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was just going to say, on that note of talking about branding and stuff, my website is Coaching by Debbie, and I'm starting to really dislike it, and I'm wondering if I should change over to just my name. It's just, I would need to get my logo redone and everything, and I can't decide whether to do it or not, but it isn't bugging me a little bit.
Okay. I think it just depends what feels right with you. Like, if it's not sitting right with you and you're not happy with it, then you definitely change it, because it's going to put a block on everything that you do.
Yeah. Even
if it's not conscious, you're going to be like, well, I'm not happy with that, so I don't want to put stuff out there and send people to my website. So it's a natural.
What are you not happy about?
I don't know. It's just something about the Coaching by Debbie. I've started to just dislike it. I'm not sure. And there's so many people just using their name now, because it's, and then you can kind of do anything after that, can't you?
But the thing is, that's quite personal, isn't it? It gives people if they need emotional support, they want a person.
Yeah. And our friends so she's Rachel Smith, the business grower, and then you've got Kelly Cairns, the Tech Angel. You can be Debbie Rose, the divorce coach.
Yeah. Because that's what your Facebook page is, isn't it? Can you change it to divorce coach?
I put divorce in it. Yeah. After you said, because it wasn't clear what I was.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think, because coaching is I'm a coach too, but it's so vague, and that's the one thing I struggle with, is defining, what kind of coaching I do offer. So if it's as specific as divorce coaching, it can obviously branch off into relationships and all kinds of other things, but it's like people say, you start off being known for one thing, and obviously then you can branch out, but at least you're going to get all the divorced people going to you. Yeah.
I have a question for everybody. This has been a thought of mine when I kind of identify myself. So, do you, like for me, I deal with productivity, and you guys all have your own thing, but there's the expert, there's the consultant, and I know they all technically mean something different. So I've actually looked up definitions, what does this sound right? So you have, like I said, the consultant, the coach, the strategist. What are your thoughts on any of that? I mean, I'm just curious as to, when you see those terms, and of course coach, what does it bring to your minds? I'm just curious. I'm really talking about probably consultant, the coach, not the expert, and the strategist. Those three things.
Well, I needed a divorce coach. not for me because I'm not even married. But some of my clients, when people are going through difficult situations, and some people are being bullied by the manipulative, vicious ex-partner, etc. And so I was looking for people like Debbie to refer them to, because I'm like, you've got the lawyer and the person doing the structural change, shall we say, but then you need somebody who needs to keep you emotionally involved, not go off the rails, and keep your intention on what you want your personal outcome from this divorce to be. So when you said divorce coach, I'm like, I could have used you a couple of years ago because people I know need you, not now. And touch wood, thank you for me that I can't have anyone to refer you to. But when you said divorce coach, I'm like, oh damn, I wish that was years ago, because there's a need. If that helps you with what people think when you say business coach, divorce coach, that's what I think, keeping that person safe through the journey.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought the same when I heard you say divorce coach. I thought it might not necessarily be divorce, but in my mental health support group, a lot of people are having mental health issues because of a bad breakup, a bad relationship. And I've been thinking to give them something or someone to say, well, here's someone who's specific to a relationship breakdown. So I've literally wrote down at the start that I was going to message you and say, oh, do you fancy doing something together? So once you've said coach, it's made it sound more understandable and relatable what you're doing. So like when you're saying, Linda, about the names, I think it just depends, because I used to say life coach, but it's not really defining what I do. So then I put mental health mentor or something. I've got my words now because I'm getting nervous talking.
No, it's true. I think life coach is very vague.
Yes.
I am a life coach. I often start in the area of business, but I very, very rarely would leave someone one-sided, because I think we're all holistic. So I always look at, the whole. But life coaching, for some reason, that word, I don't know whether it seems naff to people, or people are a bit overwhelmed by that, or I don't,
Nobody knows what that means.
Life. It's so weird.
It's very vague. Like you said, it's very vague. It's a vague term. And so it doesn't really, I think, identify so much what you or I actually do. I'm a certified life coach, but you and I do different things. So if you look at each of us, we may, whether you've taken formal training or not, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that life coach can really essentially mean anything. And so I think we need to further, and the thing is, and I guess my curious question is, how accepting is the term coaching now to the world? In other words, are people really looking for a coach? I don't know. I'm probably not explaining this well, but I'm just trying to figure out, what are people looking for when they're looking for someone like me that does productivity? Are they really looking for a productivity coach? That was really kind of my question. They're looking for a coach, they're looking for a strategy, or I just don't know. I mean, I've struggled with that thought for a while now.
I came across the word champion, and I really love that word, because actually that's what I am. Like, recently coaching someone, I managed to get, because he took the steps that I championed him through, he got back £3,000 like the other day. Whereas he wouldn't have done it had I not given him that support. So it's not just actioning and strategizing for me, it's very much the heart centered stuff for me. It's very much
absolutely.
Like almost mothering them in a kind of way, like you would like the mother role is to motivate or to soothe or to inspire, so for me,
exactly
champion somehow. But I wouldn't know how to use that in a sense.
It's just a matter of, because it came up to my mind when you said, what do you want to be known for? And that's brought that thought to my mind. Like, what do you want to be known for? And so it's just like, I've always struggled with what wording do I use when I identify myself, the self-identity, not only to other people, but to myself as well.
I think that's why the word mentor, because I feel like for me,
Yeah.
a personal trainer, a coach means like someone who's going to be like, go, 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 go. A coach is someone who's
Exactly.
like pushing you through it, whereas a mentor, to me, I mentor is someone who's helping you through it, who's holding your hand through it. So I just mentor a bit more of a softer and nicer term than coach is just everywhere at the minute. Live personal coach.
And a lot of people use coaching for, like, they think about a trainer, a physical trainer like you are, I saw as well, you know, so it's just a term.
See, I think the term coach is overused in our industry.
Yeah,
and I just think that the lines are really blurred now on what is actually a coach.
Right.
But I think my understanding is that, like, having worked with a coach, I think a coach is completely different to a mentor. Like, I wouldn't call myself a coach. I think that a coach is probably somebody who has the ability to get something out of you and maybe like remove the blocks and to kind of move you forward in your business, where a mentor is probably somebody that shows you how to do that because of their own experience. Right. And then I think the strategist, like a strategist, is somebody that probably puts that into place. So I think there's a place, I think the clear distinction between a coach and a mentor is just really blurred because all of the everyone's using it.
Right. And that's really the point, is that to think about it. I mean, for me, it's just, I've struggled and I have not come up with for myself, a clear answer. I just haven't.
In Jamie Cato's book, can't remember the name right now, but something, he does a lot of workshopping around shadow stuff, and he sometimes gets you to come up with really creative names. So, you know, these names we didn't create them personally ourselves. They're just like really mainstream names, and we try and fit in the box of those things, and yet they don't quite fit, right? Because they're not us. My friend Alice, who's extremely successful, she does the work of Teal Swan, if you know Teal Swan, but she's also a documentary filmmaker and blah, blah, blah. But she comes up with her own name. She calls herself Spiritual Catalyst, you know, or like I've heard people use them, you know, if they're someone who helps people with dreams, like in their life, they're like a dream weaver, you know, and they're coming up with really interesting names.
Yeah, that's a really good thought. Yeah,
maybe it starts a conversation, because then people don't assume that they know what it is, because they don't. Then they'll ask, and then you can give your version. I don't know, because if none of these words are fitting for us, like coach, they're actually quite masculine words as well. Coach, you know, coach, mentor, champion, they're actually quite masculine words maybe. I don't know what the feminine alternative is, but maybe it's also about brainstorming, writing down all the words of the elements of the essence. Like for me, I consider myself like a mother hen when I'm to my clients, you know, because I do personally care about their success, you know, but something that's not scary.
I love that. I love the fact that, you know, you think about your own kind of personal word that can really definitely start a conversation, because it makes you stop and think, what exactly do they really do? Because you're right, they assume they know when you say coach, and I think it puts everybody to sleep, to be quite frank. You know, to be honest, when someone says I'm a coach, like, time to sleep.
Yeah, do you know what I think is what they say in front of it though? Like me, if somebody just says I'm a business coach or I'm a life coach, and I'm like, oh, another one. So if you're like being specific, like Debbie's like a divorce coach, I'd be like, ooh,
yeah,
you know, I think it's about being specific in what it is that you do, and it's fine to be a coach if you are a coach. Right. But I think you just need to be specific, and if anyone else says they're a life coach, I'm gonna block them out of my life.
I'm gonna get you this girl's website just because it's quite an inspiring website as well.
on my business card, I have essential oil educator, certified essential oil educator, and sensei. And the way I came up with the sensei was I was telling someone just when I was thinking about getting started, I was speaking to someone and this fellow just walked by and he went, "Oh, essential oils." He said, "Sensei?" And I went, "Sensei." You know, like revered teacher. Okay, I'm not there yet, but revered teacher, but it's also the play on words that it, and being Canadian, of course, we do the sense, right? So so that's what I had, but I see people look at it and they kind of go, "Ew," because it's new, right? And so it, even if you come up with your own term, it will take a while for it. And you have to become comfortable with calling yourself that, because I'm just not really comfortable with it yet. Because sensei, I think of the Japanese term, like the real meaning of it. And I'm not like, "Oh, master" yet, right? So, but I've made up my term.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I think you, Linda, I think you just, like Sue says, just have a play on words and see what you can come up with. And just like it's just going back to your message and what we did in week 1 of Boost Your Biz and the clarity stuff,
right? And
just thinking about that and thinking what kind of words that you can use that will instantly identify what it is that you do.
Okay, all right, I'll give it some.
And you can post that in the group, and just get people's opinions and ideas and just have a bit of a brainstorm.
And I guess we can change it is the other thing. The website I've just posted, Alice, she's very talented and she does lots of different things. And like me, I find that a huge challenge. Like, how can you be a bunch of different things and it be very clear what you offer? Like, she's got her own Ghetto Tarot cards that she sells as a product on her website, but she also's she's managed to do everything. So I often see on her website, she's changed her title of herself. So as she grows and evolves and changes and brings different elements in, and, she's now calling herself a status quo challenger. That's the first thing on her website. And then it says what she does. So, so I think that's the other thing is that, you don't have to be stuck with it forever at all. Like, with the divorce coaching, if you end up, getting bored of doing that because you can't bear another divorce and you move into another area and whatever, then you'll still have, a big following and you can, just evolve as you evolve. I think for me, that's always been a bit of a block sometimes, is thinking, oh my God, I've got to know who I am and what I am. And as if it's one fixed thing, like a fixed identity that's always going to be that thing. Because obviously as I learn and grow and heal and evolve, like, I'm going to be different people further down the line,
That's true though. And I think we evolve, our lives change, we change as people, and then it's only natural that our business changes as we get more confident, more experience. Like, I mean, when I first started out formatting Word documents. That's how my business started out. That was my first job. So then I evolved into do virtual assistant stuff for a while, but then my expertise and my knowledge grew, and then my business changed. So we all change, we all evolve, but we still and we all offer a ton of stuff. So I offer a ton of stuff. You will offer a ton of stuff, but it's that one thing. It's like, if you think, who can I think of? I don't know, like Heinz, for example. We know them as baked, they sell baked beans, but they also do a lot of other products. So it's kind of like you have that umbrella and you have that, right, I am this, but I also offer this. And it's like when I talk about like who's your soulmate client, like for me, I work with female entrepreneurs, but it doesn't mean that I'm never going to work with men again. It just means that that's who I target and that's who my audience is, first and foremost. So it's just having that. That's why I keep saying have that clarity of what it is that you do, that you love, and then you can bring everything else under it. You don't have to kind of do it all and say it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for me, this is just just an ongoing.
You guys are just
And
such a
now going into
spirit.
existential crisis. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. I think you're always going to struggle with that, though, putting yourself in a box and staying there. It's not you. It's not who you are. Totally fine.
Maybe I should call my website Out of the Box.
Yeah. Stay out of the box.
Yeah, I found a hair salon recently called Not Another Salon, which I thought was a great name.
Yeah.
NotAnotherSalon.com, and they do wild things like yellow hair and crazy, it's just, they want everyone to have fun, and they don't want people to go in and be like, oh, you can't have that because it's the wrong face shape for you. If you want purple and pink hair, they'll give you purple and pink hair, and there was just something really fun and different about this place. It was so different from any other hairdresser.
And that's clever, though, because if you walk down the high street, there's about 10 different salons, and every time there's a vacant building, especially up here anyway, every time there's a vacant building, it's always a salon, and we'll just go, oh, it's not another salon. So that's really clever. That's clever marketing. I like it. Right, I'm just conscious of the time. So has anyone got any pressing questions or anything that they want to go over before we wrap up? No.
Has everyone been enjoying the biz thing with Kelly? I've been out of the loop, so.
Yeah, I've not been doing enough. I was away on holiday last week and I was trying to get back into the zone again. I can't, especially with the nice weather.
It's been wonderful, for sure.
Yeah, the Boost Your Biz is really awesome. It's just, yeah, highly recommend it for next time.
Thank you. I'm going to be running it again in June, actually, before the 6 weeks holidays.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. Right, but on that note, I will tell you about, you probably had an email, but I am launching a mastermind group. The 11th, is this the 11th of May it starts? Yeah, it starts the 11th of May. So it's kind of an extension of Boost Your Biz, but it's also a mastermind where you come together with me in a small group. In Facebook, we'll have live calls like this for me to support you in your business going forward. So it's kind of really, it's going to be intense because I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be kicking your asses and keep you accountable and help you grow your businesses. So there's a link in the Facebook group, my Facebook group, so you can go and have a look at that. If you want to join it, you get access to the VIP club for 4 months for free. So your membership for the VIP is included in the mastermind. So Ruth is part of that. Karen's gone, so she's part of it as well. So if you want any more information, you can give me a shout and I'll send it to you. And that's it. So there you go. So yeah. So just give me a shout if you want some more information on it.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
I think we're going to go and jump in the Lido now.
Nice and sunny. I've got a call with Ruth after this, so cool. Rain on loud.
Me and faces it to each other. You didn't say me. I'm in the VIP group too.
I know you are.
You didn't say my name. You said Ruth's in it, and you didn't say me because Ruth's just your favourite, and I'm not anymore.
No, I'm talking about the mastermind. You're not in it yet.
Oh, okay.
You have to join the mastermind to be a teacher's pet.
Yeah, you do.
It's just that easy.
I thought you were drinking wine then, Kelly. I was like,
no, that's what Ruth asked at the beginning.
Big glass of red wine.
This is my water.
Right. So Helen, who's been on, not Helen, Debbie, because Helen's on. These calls are every third Friday at 11:30. So you can pop in your diary. I'll give reminders and stuff anyway. And then I'll this record, so I'll download it and upload it to the VIP. And also, if you've missed it, I've redesigned the VIP and added some new stuff. It looks good. I like it. So if you haven't logged in, log in and have a look and let me know what you think. And I shall see you in the group, and I'll see you next time.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. I can't leave. I'm stuck.